everybody, welcome back to the America's Army OP Cast. I am Dev Tots, joined as always by Dev Grub. How's it going, man?
What's up, Tots?
And this week we've also got Bravo Nader back with us. How's it going?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Not a lot. Now, last week we left off on discussion of the medic and how it'll affect the everyman and your feelings on it. Let's just go right back into that.
Okay. Well, let's see, the medic at first, again, this goes kind of back to the limited roles. We have been trying out one or two medics per team. At first, I really didn't like it. The main reason was because at that point in time, we hadn't polished it any further, and there was absolutely no way to revive the medics. So
that was a rough time.
That was a really rough time for me. It actually got to the point where I just kind of started pretending there was no medic. And it wasn't because, whoever chose to be medic was awful. It was just because usually the medic would go one direction and I would go the other. So, yeah, at that point in time, I really did not like it. And I was, thankfully, we when we do playtest right afterward, we can all talk about it and share our thoughts and stuff in a professional manner.
AAR immediately after every playtest. We all get in the same room. We talk about any bugs, our experiences with the changes.
And I bring up that time because it was really, there was a split. There was kind of a split.
There still is.
There still is, yeah. I mean, there's still a lot of talk about, like, should it be limited? Should it be forced? Should it be something, should we weaken the medic's ability to combat? So, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things that we've been exploring, and we've been kind of going, I think, back and forth in terms of what we've been trying as well.
For people who may not remember, Dev Doc, member of the dev team, was a former combat medic, and he's doing the lion's share of the designing of that system, so it's being treated fairly, definitely. But there's a lot of Dev Doc is doing some awesome combat medic designing, and the rest of us are like, yeah, but it's a game, and we want it to be fun still, and a lot of back and forth on that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and so there will be some, I think, attempts at that to see if we can get that feeling right. But I mean, I think at the baseline, it's probably going to go to something what we're looking at now. But I mean, there's no telling. We've still got months to work on it and polish it out.
I mean, I know it's still work in progress, but in all honesty, comparing it to when the team first presented that to now, I think it's way better.
Yeah, definitely. Just
because anybody can now revive the medic, and then so it's more of a team now. It's not isolated anymore. I definitely want to pick up the medic so that the medic can pick up everybody else. And also, I think it's miles better because the medic has certain tools to be able to use, and it's still in the works, but I feel like it's coming closer and closer to the even point where everyone's like, there's so many pros, but there are so many cons, and but it's still fun. It doesn't affect gameplay as much.
Yeah, one of the things we're struggling with right now is we're kind of messing with the HUD a little bit, like just the visual looks of it and stuff like that, and so we're kind of running into some issues like, who's the medic? I can't
who's down?
Who's down?
Where am I?
Who's the medic? Yeah. And it's created some interesting gameplay things because it's like I've started having to use different areas of our gameplay. It points out some communication things that we've been missing, and we've been kind of giving in the HUD, but maybe they shouldn't be all in the HUD. And that brings us to like some community topics where like people have been talking about like a lot of people don't like all the HUD stuff that we've given them because it's like, oh, it's kind of cheating. It feels like the game is cheating for you, and things like that. Yeah, the grenade timer and stuff like that. What is your thought on some of those things and the minimalistic HUD, versus the HUD kind of telling you everything?
Well, I'm having a hard time adjusting to the new HUD stuff. I can't really explain what it is. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to trying to find things on the screen, and I'm having a hard time letting go of what it used to look like. Versus, I'm playing it like almost every day, so I can't get unused to it because I'm looking at the same HUD every day. Yeah, so I mean, I know it's all work in progress, so I don't know how much information I can give on what the HUD looks like right now. But yeah, I definitely am having a little bit of a hard time adjusting, and I mean, I've already given my input out there. I know everybody's still working on it, so I don't doubt that it's going to look good when it's done.
Well, just so people know, we can't go into too much, but the idea is just a more condensed, sleek HUD that still gets you the information you need while giving you as much screen space as humanly possible, right? That's what you want in any HUD. And we just, we've had the same HUD since we came out, really. It's the first time we've had time to really look at it, so we're trying a lot of stuff, and who knows what'll stick, but... Yeah,
exactly.
So you're somebody that puts in a lot of good, solid hours into the game, not only internally, but I mean, like, you have a pretty high honor. I think you're like
26 or something.
20, yeah, something like that. So
it's getting harder.
It's a good solid honor, because I mean, I think I'm like a 7 in pubs when I have like 400 some odd hours in the game, because all the testing I do.
Right.
But 99 on closed beta, but I might have cheated that. So.
Just leave it on. And walk away. Trust me, you're gonna have so many hours.
So I mean, like, there's been some talk about like wanting servers where you can adjust the honor level. Where you can say like, okay, the max honor on this place is 10, and the max honor. Do you feel like you can get on a server and if you see a level 1 honor person, do you feel like I'm gonna roll this guy, I'm gonna take this guy down, or I'm likely going to be able to, or do you feel like it's a game where everybody can walk in and they can play with these 30s and 40s?
I would have to agree with that. I totally feel like I can mow people down. I think the flip side to it is that anybody can start an account, and so therefore, like, for example, if I wanted a new name, I can go and start a new name, and there you go, I start rank 1, but I have all these hours of experience, so obviously I'm not really a rank 1.
You see this in League of Legends, and I'm sure tons of other games, but I mean, League of Legends, one of those is like, I mean, there's some stuff you get at level 30, you get the perks of talent trees and stuff like that, and your rune pages, but like, you can just make a level 1 character, and a lot of people love to just go back and play against level 1s, because more than likely you're going up against real level 1s, and you're not a level 1.
People like to say that it worked in AA2, but at the same time, you're spending a couple hours to get into AA2 to get through all the training first. That was the real deterrent to not making new accounts, was having to spend all that time again. We don't have like a 3-hour barrier in new account creation, so it can help, but griefers are going to grief. They just are, and good server admins is the only thing that really is going to help with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I would feel bad too, because like I said, I'm like a level 7, and I'm probably more in like the 13, 15 range of like of skill level, just of knowing the game and that sort of thing. But like,
I think you're probably at a higher level than that. You're being really modest. Right? Really?
But I don't know. I always get pub stomped when I go on. Somebody's always rolling my face.
The other concern, though, too, is we don't have a big player base right now, and the more you segregate it, just the harder it is for anyone to find a game, right?
That is also true.
If we had 100,000 concurrent users, having segregated servers makes a lot of sense.
It does.
When you have 2,000 concurrent users, it doesn't. It just, but at the same time, I do want to say that people like DevTerror are looking at new guy servers and ways that we can use servers to help teach new people. It is being looked at, but is an honor wall the right answer? We don't know yet.
Yeah, I think if we make any kinds of changes like that, it should definitely be when we have a bigger fan base. Right now, if we implemented anything like that, it would probably be like 6 people playing like a 12v12, total, and they're all like rank 2 or 3 or something like that,
Yeah.
So it totally wouldn't be fun for them, and anybody that would want to start out in the game would just probably give up on it because there aren't enough people playing.
Yeah, what do you do? Like, what do you do when your friend gets on and starts playing a game and you want to teach them the game? Like,
well, the idea was a low-ranked person could play on a rank 10 server, but a rank 10 couldn't play on a low-ranked server. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they could go to their friend's high-level server and get stomped there instead of whatever.
Right. Okay.
It's an interesting idea. Also in the forums recently, has been talk about bots, having co-op and bots. That comes up probably every month or two. And that is really cool, and that sure would be nice.
As a programmer,
AI.
I would personally love to put in AI. I mean, like, I lean AI. I've heard that we haven't really had an AI person or somebody interested in AI for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, yeah, I would love to put in an AI. I don't think it would be hard. I mean, especially with UE Unreal, like, it just, it's already designed to kind of have that. I think it would be fun. But I mean, there's tons. I mean, just putting in a bot would be one thing. Like, I guess we could put it in for UMMs, but like, there's a whole bunch of other considerations, including animations, character models,
new map
like
design, objectives, missions. Art.
Yeah, and I guess you could use like the bots of the current models and stuff like that, and it probably wouldn't be bad, but it wouldn't be polished.
Yeah,
there's a lot of just stuff, and then a whole co-op. If you wanted to actually like have a co-op map, like there's a whole other game type and stuff like that. There's a lot of considerations that.
Like every version of America's Army, when we release our gold version, that's not where the game ends, right? Like we're going to keep adding and making new things, and that is so. Sure, it can happen eventually. We could have an awesome co-op expansion or a bot expansion or whatever, but.
I'd like to have a level, if anybody's played Titanfall, and I don't know if Battlefield or COD does any of this, but like Titanfall, like they have a lot of bots, and I mean it's integrated in their gameplay. But I think just to have interesting things, interesting combat things going around, so that you feel like you're in a combat zone and you're not hanging out with like 12 buddies running around with guns. Like, there's other people shooting, bots are shooting. Like, maybe it might make lanes. I think it would change map design for sure, but it might make lanes interesting if there's a bot always shooting down there and you had to take out the bot in order to.
It was a lot like with Titanfall, at least. It was a lot like creeps in a MOBA, right? Like they're not supposed to be hard. They're just kind of supposed to be in the way and be just one factor in it.
Yeah, but I think it adds some immersion, and I think it would be interesting to do. But it's a time thing and a resource thing.
And getting the real game finished first, right? Like, once you have an awesome shooter that's fully polished, then you can start thinking about that.
Yeah.
Better to do that than have a half-polished game and a half-made co-op.
Yeah, but you definitely don't want to rush things. That's done a lot in the game industry nowadays. It's just like, hey, let's shoehorn this thing in, and you can't just leave something half done and then move on to something else. It's just going to be all around that.
It worked for them.
Oh
yeah, I mean, but that was on 64 days, right?
True.
But speaking of
the golden years.
Speaking of things that like where you could like resource stuff and just adding to the game and stuff like that. I mean, we've been working internally and we don't know if it's going to get out, but we kind of peeked at it earlier, but we've kind of been playing with doors a little bit lately. We threw it into a test map that when's it going to go out? Who knows? But, we're just kind of playing around with the idea of doors. But we have made some updates to doors recently for our internal stuff. And since
a lot of bug fixing, too, for doors.
Yeah, we've fixed some bugs in doors and stuff like that. So, I mean, my hope is that UMM players are going to be able to get some of these things that we've been kind of adding to doors, some of this functionality.
Because it'd be nice to get that out to those guys, even if our map with those isn't ready yet, right?
And that's the thing where like we put resources into it because it was a minor thing that we could just kind of play with and test and start testing. But
it's been requested a few times.
Yeah, but I mean, the UMM guys have been using the doors that we've had in there. So I mean, hopefully they'll be able to get some of these changes. I mean, we added cracking doors, and the door now always opens away from you, which it wasn't doing before.
I saw that today. Yeah, I think that's a great idea, man. Especially cracking doors open.
Yeah, so hopefully in the next release.
Hand double.
Oh yeah. Colts was asking for he wanted to be able to cook grenades. I guess you could do that in AA2. I don't know about 3, but that might be something we could add. But I think with the cracking doors, did AA2 have like cracking doors and stuff? So, and maybe at least with the cracking doors, if that gets out that'll be something, and then I think doors is something we can keep pushing things out for. So
Was that a pun?
yeah, I guess it was kind of a pun.
Keep pushing those doors.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and like you said, there's a lot of people out there with maps that they've made, and I've played a lot of them that have doors on them. I think they're great right now. If we push out any of these fixes over to to those guys, I mean, whew,
Yeah, they'll have a field
just
day.
that'll just make their maps like so much
I think
better.
some of them have been doing some of the fixes in Kismet and things like that. So
Mhm.
like,
We have some crazy talented guys in our community.
yeah, we
For
do.
sure.
Oh yeah, very dedicated.
I'm very interested to see what comes out of the UMM map thing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to say goodbye, Tots.
It is. It's always so sad
It really is.
going back to work.
Yeah.
Oh, no, work.
True. We have to go back to work.
Go animate things.
No,
There's
okay.
animations to be animated.
Oh man.
Like medic training.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know anything about the code of medic training.
No. Somewhere Doc's ears are burning and he's looking around very paranoid.
That'd be so awesome if he busted in.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, it's always wonderful to be able to talk to you, and we hope to talk to all of you in the community, in the forums, on Twitter, on Facebook, any way you want to get to us. And we will see you next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.